And Wikileaks founder Julian Assange joins us live now. Thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Assange. Let's begin where Jim left off, the possibility of espionage charges or conspiracy charges here in the United States. They rest on whether you communicated or encouraged Sergeant Manning, Private Manning, in any way to give you those classified documents. Did you help him in any way, shape, or form?
We don't talk about sourcing issues in general, but there's something that I can say that is very easy. I had never heard of the name Bradley Manning before it was published in the press. WikiLeaks technology designed from the very beginning to make sure that we never know the identities or names of people submitting us material. That is, in the end, the only way that sources can be guaranteed that they remain anonymous as far as we are concerned.
But your website did encourage the soliciting of classified information that could expose you to prosecution.
Well, of course it didn't encourage it in the way that is being suggested. I mean, does a court system encourage people to lodge documents at court, and is that a crime? Of course not. Does any journalist, by the fact that they give out the number on their card, encourage the solicitation of documents? Of course not. There is nothing specific that we do that encourages any sort of specific documents to be submitted to us. And
so
the Congressional Research Service of the US Congress just produced a 30-something page report that said that it thought it was very unlikely under law that we had engaged in any illegal activity. And if it was alleged that our activity would be illegal, then of course the New York Times and all other mainstream media organizations would also suffer from that allegation.
You are also, of course, facing those charges in Sweden. I know you've denied those charges, rape charges in Sweden. You've said you're the victim of a smear campaign. My question this morning is, do you feel you were set up by those two women in Sweden?
Clearly a victim of a smear campaign. There are intercepted SMS messages between the women and each other and their friends that I am told represents a setup. Now those SMS messages, the Swedish prosecutor has refused to release, and in fact stated that my lawyer, who was shown the messages by the police, is gagged from speaking about them. In their representations to the courts here over 3 separate court dates, the Swedish government stated that it didn't need to provide a single piece of evidence to the court. In fact, didn't provide a single piece of evidence to back up its allegations. We're not just talking about evidence in terms of physical objects, we're talking not even a single word of the allegations themselves.
So do you believe you were set up?
We have yet to receive material. Not a single word of material in English has been provided to me or my solicitors. And in fact, it wasn't until some 3 weeks ago that my Swedish lawyer received the first page of material in Swedish.
Did you have sex with these women against their will?
Absolutely not. And that has been what I have stated, what my counsel has stated since the very beginning. It's very easy to understand that you've been a victim of a smear campaign if someone alleges that you have committed a double rape. It's not something that you need to think about. That is what I stated immediately. Those charges in Sweden were dropped within 24 hours of them being made. And it wasn't until a politician in Sweden became involved and went to a regional prosecutor in Gothenburg that the investigation was raised. I still have not been charged with anything. This is an extradition warrant that is highly exotic and unusual, that seeks simply to have a conversation with me in Sweden.
Let's get to your broader mission. As you know, the Secretary of State of the United States and many other government officials have said you've been endangering the lives of diplomats and others, and you're sabotaging the peaceful relations between nations on which our common security depends. What's your response?
Well, Netanyahu of Israel seems to welcome this material, and in fact said leaders should say in public what they say in private. So as far as peace negotiations with Iran and in the Middle East concerned, it seems to be a step forward. In fact, I would say in general it is a step forward to everyone be on the same page and not to be running around behind each other's backs telling lies about each other. That is something that has been revealed by this material, and a lot of countries are looking on that favourably. We see today that the work goes on. Our British media partner, The Guardian today, another Cablegate story, which there have been every day now since we began. India accused of systemic use of torture in Kashmir.
Fine, you know, we're just about out of time. I have one final question.
Coming out of our cables.
Final question quickly. Other government officials have called you an anarchist. Are they right?
They're absolutely not right. We can look at my long-term endeavours all the way back to 1993, where I started up part of the internet industry in Australia. Bring knowledge to the people, and that is then a firm foundation for us to build credible and humane institutions.
Okay, Julian Assange, thanks very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
That's you right there. That's you right there. I've got some testimony. I've got an amen corner right here.